and flooded the room with the light. Another moment's pause. His eyes fixed upon the figure at the table, and in 3 strides he was at its side, bending over it. The table was in chaotic disorder. Papers covered it and overflowed onto the floor at its side. An inkstand had overturned, and the contents had trickled out in blue and red streams. The telephone had fallen to the floor and lay there amongst 2 or 3 open books. Pens, letter-rack, an overturned ashtray were mixed up in the confusion of the table. Brent bent over the figure of the man seated in the chair with the head and shoulders fallen across the table, and removed a sheet of paper which had fallen across the face, and hidden it. It was Manning, dead, and with the cause of death sticking up from between his shoulder blades, the white ivory handle of a carving knife. Whoever had put it there had struck with fierce energy, for the blade was buried to within 2 inches of the handle. Brent stepped back from the dead man and looked as he felt upon his cheek another rush of cold air. The French windows were open, and in one of them the centre pane had been smashed. Brent went to them and stared out into the darkness of the night. He was about to step through them onto the lawn outside when the thunder and lightning came again, together this time, with deafening crash and blinding flash, and he raised his hand in defence of his eyes. Then came the rain, and such rain as Brent had seen before only in the tropics. It beat down with a thunder of its own upon the trees and the lawn outside. It came into the room, wetting his bare feet as he stood near the windows. Not the slightest use his trying to go out in this storm. He must wait until it passed before attempting to discover the reason for those sounds he had heard beneath his window, and which had brought him hurrying down. He pulled the windows to and bolted them, and turned again to the room. As he did so, something moving at the far end of the hall, which he could see through the open door, caught his eye. Something vaguely white, gliding along in the shadows. In a trice, he was through the door and making his way towards the place where he had seen it. The light from the room partially lit up the great space of the hall. Whoever it was seemed to have been coming from the dining room, the door of which was in the far left-hand corner, and, yes, there it was again, at the foot of the stairs. Brent reached the broad stairway in time to see it disappear around the first bend, and was about to start up after it when someone else, a man in pyjamas and dressing-gown, appeared around the bend, flattening himself against the wall as he did so, to let the figure in white pass. The second figure came lightly and quickly down the stairs. It was Dr. Henderson, and Brent recognized him with relief. "Bill?" whispered the doctor. "That's right, Hendy. Who the devil was that going upstairs?" "Shh! Not so loud. It's Mrs. Geraint sleepwalking. She does it often. What's up down here? I thought I heard sounds, though, in this storm." "There's plenty up down here, old boy," replied Brent dryly. "Manning's in there, murdered." "Manning? Murdered?" "With a damn great knife stuck in him. Come along and have a look for yourself." The two hurried back to the lighted room, and the doctor bent over the body while Brent waited. "Dead, all right," said Henderson, straightening himself. "That's mutton," agreed Brent. Henderson stared about him at the wildly disordered room. "My God," he said presently. "What a mess." "I found the windows open," explained Brent. "Somebody must have come through them, done this," he pointed to the knife, "and run for it. I heard a sort of scream and glass breaking." "I heard something of the sort too, about 2 minutes ago." "That's right. Can't go out in this storm, of course. Pity, too, because whoever did this is out in it. I heard him go."